Yeah, and I didn't even notice. Yeah, I think it's obviously not that clear. I totally forgot. I'm gonna bring a t-shirt.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Oops. Just went blank. Hold on.
Wait till it comes back, and then you might want to ring the bell to get this.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to First Unitarian Universalist Church of Richmond. My name is Erica Sims. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm honored to serve on your board of directors. I'm a Caucasian woman with gray and brown hair. I'm wearing a black jacket and a brown shirt. For those of you who are new to us and members and friends who are tuning in from near and far, welcome. We are so grateful to be able to connect with you. We are a community of many faith journeys and beliefs, committed to being deliberately diverse and fully inclusive. We want you to know that whoever you are, you belong here. We are a community that is resilient and committed to healing. We do the work that needs to be done and commit to maintaining and establishing our relationships. Let us continue together to stand on the side of love. For more information, visit our website, richmonduu.org, or subscribe to our YouTube channel to view past services and log in 5 to 10 minutes early to catch the preceding announcements. We also invite you to join Coffee Chat prior to service. Please be sure to silence your cell phones, and thank you for being with us today. May this be a comforting, centering, and restorative moment for you. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Reverend Amy Russell, and I am so glad to see all of you here today and all of you at home. And we're going to be introducing all of the players in a minute, but first we're going to do a very important thing. We're going to have the presentation by Ginger Clark of our Ian Finlayson, is that right? Finlayson Service Award. Ginger?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ginger Clark, and my pronouns are she, her. I serve on your Leadership Development Committee. I'm a middle-aged white woman. Today I'm wearing a black sweater and a book dress and black boots, and I'm delighted to be with you. Today I have the honor of recognizing a longtime member of our congregation by presenting the Ian M. Finlayson Service Award. This service award is given each quarter to a church member who has made outstanding volunteer contributions over a sustained period of time or through a special project. For her decades of dedicated volunteer service, please join me in congratulating Robin Pratt. Now you get to stand here and listen to all the nice things about you. Robin has been a member at First UU since 1986, when she was still a young adult. At that time, she helped form and coordinate the singles group, and as a bonus, ended up meeting her partner, Rick Sorg. I wanted to mention that Robin and Rick were originally nominated to receive this award together for their administrative volunteer work, but Rick was previously recognized way back in December 2006. So we see all of your efforts, Rick. But for today, anyway, Robin gets all the credit. Over the years, Robin has served on the church board of directors, sang in the choir, helped teach the youth, and volunteered with stewardship. Most notably, did you know that in the 1980s, before Gallery had a board of directors, there originally was just one director in charge, and it was Robin. More recently, Robin came back to Gallery as a volunteer and then as the artist liaison director, and this year was setup and design director of a beautiful and well-received show. She also co-leads the UU Knitters and answers the phones and provides extensive administrative backup to Margaret Rush. Another gallery director, Rachel Lawrence, has known Robin Pratt since they were both young adults. Together, they built a thriving young adult group that met regularly, coordinated the Thanksgiving potlucks, and hosted a regional weekend young adult conference for 8 years. Thought that was really cool to learn about. Rachel says, Robin has shown tireless commitment to First UU, and she is a generous and creative individual who is always willing to lend a helping hand. You can always count on Robin. Beth Miksovic, our gallery executive director, stated that Robin consistently goes above and beyond. This year, she coached our new artist liaison, served as setup and design director, and additionally did everything that required a presence at church before and after the show dates. Gallery is stronger for her artistic vision and commitment to the show, and we literally could not do it without her. For my part, working as another gallery director alongside Robin, I have appreciated Robin's problem-solving ability, artistic eye, strong work ethic, usually very calm demeanor, and creative camaraderie. And the fact that Rick is her highly capable and always cheerful right-hand man makes them a dynamic duo. But enough about gallery. Margaret Rush wanted Robin to be recognized for all of her volunteer efforts to keep the church running smoothly that none of you may see. She said Robin brings technology skills, efficiency skills, people skills, and planning skills, almost always with a bright smile. She was so helpful in 2023 when I received my diagnosis and needed to plan for an extended absence. Robin offered concrete ways to make my absence easier for the staff, which gave me much needed comfort and peace of mind. Robin also brings institutional knowledge. While I often bemoan the we've always or we've never done it this way approach, Robin finds the useful nuggets in what has or hasn't been done before. Quite simply, Robin is invaluable. Robin, in recognition of your deep commitment to service and leadership in this community, we present you with a gift chalice made by church member Nancy Pratt as the December 2024 recipient of the Ian M. Finlayson Service Award. Thank you.
Very well deserved. So again, I'm Reverend Amy Russell, she, her. I have curly, frizzy gray hair, and I'm wearing a brown paisley jacket. And I want to introduce New Beginnings, will be singing here this morning. So glad you're here. And our worship associate, Nadim Ahmed. And we have also Hyatt Bain, who will be another worship associate. And then we have our hymn leaders, Bari Ramsey, Hyatt Bain, and Darlene Draga. And we have many people in our booth, I can't name them all, Drew and Eric and Jim. So thank you all for those things. And of course, Jamie Kilpatrick, our music director. So will you take a moment to see who's around you and say hello? Let us come into a calm, clear place where we can relinquish our clutter and relax from busyness into being, where we can breathe in peace and center ourselves in love.
Good morning. We're going to start our chalice lighting. Because We Are Finite by Reverend David Usher. Because we are finite, we lift up our eyes to the infinite sky and feel wonder and awe. Because we have stumbled, we take the tender hand which beckons us to rise and feel the strength and reassurance. Because we are lonely, we reach out to those around us and feel warmth and acceptance. Because we are human, we do all of these things in our worship, feel the presence of the divine.
Please stand in body or in spirit as we sing our opening hymn, number 352 in the gray hymnal, Find a Stillness.
Good morning. My name is Tamara Smith, and I am a member and I am a representative of the Share the Plate Committee here at First UU. This morning, we invite you to support the Minister's Discretionary Fund. The Minister's Discretionary Fund allows our ministers to respond swiftly and confidentially to those in need. This fund has been a lifeline to members of our congregation and those in the wider community, providing emergency assistance with groceries, rent, and utilities during times of unexpected crisis. It is a tangible expression of our shared covenant to care for one another and our neighbors. Through your generosity, we can assure that no one in our midst faces their struggle alone. And this love is made real, and every contribution, big or small, makes a difference. As you consider your gift today, remember that giving to this fund is an act of faith and a voice for hope, and a way to affirm we are all in this together. Thank you for being a part of this sacred work, and let us give with hope and heart as the ushers pass the basket, or you can look to the monitors for other ways to give. The offering will now be taken and most graciously received.
Thank you so much. And thank you, DK Logan, the music director. Thank you all. So, we're talking today about where do you find a peaceful presence? So, I want to read some words by Rosemary Traumer to describe a kind of presence that might be seen as peaceful. Beneath the masks, beneath the names, beneath ideals, beneath the shoulds, is a thrumming, ecstatic, atomic swirl, unseen and omnipresent, inescapable and holy, a divine blurring of being, a realm of charge and peaceful energy. Sometimes I can remember this. So, we're going to ask you today, what do these words mean to you? Hyatt?
Hi, I'm Hayat Bain, she, her, and they pronouns. Do you ever get a shiver up your spine when you hear something that just touches you in a certain way, in a place perhaps between your head and your heart, that place of recognizing something ultimate? Do you ever get that deep sense of a presence that may be greater than yourself or part of yourself? Or maybe within everything that is the essence of life. The presence of the sacred, you might call it, or the real, or the one universal whole. People have different words, different phrases they use to describe this. And so probably each of us would experience this sense or this presence differently and use different words for it. And so we're going to do something a little bit different today and invite you to kind of quietly, and we don't have a lot of time, so we're just going to ask you to pretty quickly turn to somebody near you, and if there's somebody left out, join with 2 other people, and talk about what this is for you. If you experience this, or maybe you don't experience it, or if you do, how do you experience it? And then let's see, those times when life stands still and you're fully present, alive, and aware of what life holds. And then we're going to take 3 minutes to do this, and then we're going to take a couple minutes to invite like maybe three or four people to share briefly about what they shared with their partner. All right? So go ahead and turn to someone, and there you go. Make sure you've switched by now. About time to wrap it up. I love how when we invite people to do this in our congregation, we always have so much to share. That's really cool. So thanks for wrapping it up pretty quickly. So please raise your hand if you want to share something, if you feel moved to share something that you shared with your partner. Yeah. Good idea. Then you don't have to come up here.
We shared about the music that we just heard, and I was really uplifted by just how you started and crescendoed at the end, and that really brought me to a different place. I've been to quite a few gospel masses in the past, and those were kind of times that I remember that, so that was beautiful. Thank you.
Music is often a way that people reach that place.
Somehow we got on the topic of gratitude and just being here. I'm grateful for that. I might be in extreme pain, but I'm here. And with the love from all of you, I'm so grateful for that.
Amen. I think this is going to be the last one.
Our three all shared about the same experience going to the American West and the tall rock spires, evidences of cataclysms past.
All right. So I just want to encourage you to share some more during coffee hour after the service. Thank you so much for doing this. And now Jamie and I are going to share a song that's actually one of my favorite songs, Why the Sufis Whirl by Kirtana. I used to like to read the poems of Rumi, but I did not have a clue what he meant when he said, beloved friend, until I met you. Now I know why the Sufis whirl. It's awfully hard to rest with all this love and fire inside my chest. I never understood that Last Supper. I did not know what to think when Jesus said, my body is this bread and my blood this drink. Had emerged with all of creation, or found some fountain of youth. Now I see what I thought was alchemy is just the literal truth. And you don't need to be a Christian mystic or be born under a lucky star. You only need to be still and ask who you are. Be still and know who you are. And to know the sound of one hand clapping, you don't need to read Lao Tzu. Just look around, this is the sound. Do you hear it too? One hand clapping, one heart singing, one being me and you. Only one
unmoving ocean where many waves pass through. And you don't need to be a Zen Buddhist to pierce the heart of this mystery. You only need to be willing to stop and see what is still and free. You don't need to be a whirling dervish or study scripture or travel far. You only need to be still and ask who you are. Be willing to know who you are. Be willing to know who you are. All right, now it feels like the perfect time to invite you to go within for a little bit, just for a minute or two of silent meditation. So I just invite you to have your feet flat on the floor, and I see everyone is adjusting themselves already, so that's good. So we're letting go of even that song, just letting go of everything for a moment and hearing and feeling your breathing. Feeling your heart, feeling your feet on the floor. Just being with yourself. If you feel comfortable to have your eyes closed, that's good. If not, softening your gaze works. Being fully present to the sounds in the room, hearing the heaters that we're so grateful for. Feeling the presence of people next to you. And now the meditation hymn, meditation on breathing. Jamie, you usually introduce the three parts. Do you want to do that? We didn't talk about that. Or you can do it? Okay. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
What a wonderful feeling that song gives me. So I don't know about you, but many of us have been experiencing anxiety some days. Anxiety about what's going on in our country, maybe anxiety about the holidays coming up, getting ready, all of that busyness that we're so used to. And that's why today I wanted to talk about a peaceful presence. So when we're having difficulties in finding that balance, we need to find intentional ways to ground ourselves. So when I asked you this question, when Hyatt asked you this question, I'm very interested to hear what all of your answers are, because I know that each of you are going to have a different answer in this kind of a congregation. And I love that we all have our different ways of feeling this peaceful presence. So when you experience this sacred moment, that time of special apartness from ordinary time, but in your own unique way, how does that feel to you? Some would experience this sacred moment when walking deep in the woods. How many of you would feel that way with nature? Yeah. And you're walking with these wonderful elms and pines above you. I often feel like they carry the wisdom of the universe with them. And when I'm walking deep in the woods, I could just let it go. I can just feel my presence with them, that they're with me. And sometimes standing at the top of a mountain, you might feel that way, or standing in front of your sink, washing dishes, you might feel that way. Different ways that we all feel this way. So some of us might call this, as you're walking in the woods, you might call this the awe of nature. And that presence makes you feel one with all of the earth. So I want to ask Hyatt to read a reading from Wallace Stevens. Yeah, this is an old one, called From Sunday Morning.
What is divinity if it can come only in silent shadows and in dreams? Shall she not find in comforts of the sun, in pungent fruit and bright green wings, or else in any balm or beauty of the earth, things to be cherished like the thought of heaven. All pleasures and all pains, remembering the bough of summer and the winter branch, these are the measures destined for her soul.
So they're different. Another way that you might feel this is when you're with people that you love. I know some of you who are grandparents or aunts or uncles might lead me by the hand over to the crib and peer into what's sleeping in the crib. And that special moment might be your holy presence. So that might be that love is that special moment for you.
This is A Holy Family by Jodi Cohen Hayashida. We could allow ourselves to be pulled into that sanctified world with its new mother, luminous and weary from the work of giving birth, with its father, determined and probably a bit afraid, with its babe, intoxicated with the scent of new life, his mouth already opening in hunger. We could choose that world. We could.
I'm going to ask you, are you able to hear us, or is the noise, is it okay? A little bit? Okay. I don't know if it's possible to turn that off. Does anybody know, Drew? No? Okay. We'll try to get a little bit louder then. So, some of you might feel this at night when you go outside and you see the whole night sky full of stars, and you can get lost in those stars and wonder what is out there. You might show me scientific findings of what the universe is made of, black holes, or dark matter, or blinding gaseous stars. You could very matter-of-factly tell me that the mathematical equations that prove relativity end up being in conflict with quantum mechanics theory, but they still describe our universe, our beautiful, amazing, mysterious universe. One, that presence, you might say, is science and art and math. So let's have a reading from Albert Einstein.
This is on awe, creativity, and the birth of religion. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. He to whom this emotion is a stranger, who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead. His eyes are closed. This insight into the mystery of life, coupled though it be with fear, has also given rise to religion.
And then many of others of you might say to me, what about prayer? The source of your spirituality might be that higher power, that spirit of life, that God that calls you when those moments come to you to just sit down quietly and be with that higher presence. So, as you use, you can sit down.
I'm sorry.
You can go sit down.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is our special, peaceful moment. Let's sit down. We didn't practice this. So, as you use, many of us have come here to get away from traditional definitions of religion. And I hope that what we haven't done with that is throw out the baby with the bathwater. So we don't want to throw out ideas about spirituality with religious doctrine that we may have left behind. What I love about our tradition is that we allow ourselves to explore deeply into what these ideas may offer us, and explore them in so many different ways, through spiritual practices like meditation, music, art, prayer, dance, so many different ways to explore these spiritual ideas. Through meaningful discussions with others like you had this morning that I hope you'll continue. Through challenging our own ideas and saying, maybe I'm not right, maybe I'm wrong, I need to explore something new, and trying on these new ideas in an intentional way. But coming into Unitarian Universalism while centering us in many core values that are deeply held, core values such as justice and all the 6 of them are failing me at this moment. All of those values, call them out for me. Equity, generosity, pluralism, love, and love at the center. All those wonderful core values. We find those here in Unitarian Universalism. But maybe sometimes we forget that we need to be grounded in a spiritual practice. So you might think that I'm suggesting something that is other than yourself as a feeling of presence, because that word presence suggests something other, right? But I'm not talking about something that necessarily is outside yourself. Presence can be the mindfulness of just being present in this moment, like we did today in our meditation. Presence can be a feeling of something so sweet and unique and special, but not something outside yourself. As I said when we started beginning this, I said that you choose where you find that spiritual presence. Also, when we get older, some of us start to think that we already have all of our ideas and we don't need any new ones, and we stop exploring. I know that for myself, sometimes I forget that maybe I don't have everything I need. I maybe can be open to some new ideas. So at the time when this comes to us is often when we're having great difficulties in our life, right? When we're having that deep night of the soul and something says, I need something outside myself, maybe. Or I need to explore what brings me to the center of myself, finding that presence either within me or without me, or all around me within all things. I need to find that because I'm having a difficult time in my life. So at that time, you might want to think about someone you know who practices something that you haven't tried. The whirling dervishes we heard about in the song, the whirling. Someone who does a different form of meditation, like walking. We have a wonderful Buddhist meditation group that meets here on Monday afternoons at 1 o'clock. We have a wonderful meditation group that meets online at 12 o'clock on Tuesdays. And we have lots of other Christian group and a Buddhist group and a Jewish group, you name it. Sorry? Dance is a Universal Peace we have on Saturdays once a month. There's just so much going on here. But sometimes we get so centered in just the thing that we've always been doing, we forget to explore all these other things. So you might tell me that your place of spirituality might be in your garden, digging in the soil. You might tell me it's throwing a pot. You might tell me it's painting or music. But what you also might realize is that when you're doing those things that should give you that spiritual presence, sometimes your mind is somewhere else, right? The grocery list, the thing you have to do for your boss by tomorrow, the picking up the kid at school, all those things are still whirling around in our mind, even though we're doing that thing that's supposed to be making us spiritually present. So that's when we have to remember that being mindful, no matter what we're doing, eating our breakfast. You know, of course, most of us just eat our breakfast. But if you need that moment, because that's the only moment you're going to get during the day, you might decide to eat your breakfast mindfully and taste everything and be present in that moment. Eckhart Tolle says, once there's a certain degree of presence, of still and alert attention in human beings' perceptions, they can sense the divine life essence, that one indwelling consciousness of spirit in every one of us. Tolle talks about how he doesn't believe that religious beliefs have anything to do with spirituality. Thoughts, he says, are limiting. It is our level of human consciousness is what transforms us into spiritual beings. So when we're practicing our meditation as a spiritual practice, we are taught to become aware of when we get lost in thoughts, of when we have thoughts instead of being present. Oh yeah, I gotta go get the dry cleaning today, I forgot that. That comes up in our minds when we're practicing, our meditation. And when that happens, what do? We name that as a thought. We let it go. Sometimes feelings come up when we're doing our meditation, and what we've been taught in RAIN, our special kind of meditation, which is recognize that emotion, accept that emotion, investigate it gently, and then don't attach to it. Non-attachment. You don't need to be, you may want to investigate, you may want to be aware of it, but you don't need to attach to it. The hardest thing in the world when we're having a difficult emotion is to realize it's not us. We don't need to attach to it. So these same techniques, we can use them anywhere. When we're walking in the woods, being aware of the breeze around us, the way our feet feel on the pavement, the way our body moves. When we're listening to music, being aware of the music and what it makes us feel. When we're digging in the garden, feeling that warm, moist earth on our hands. All of that can be a special, present, and peaceful moment. So when we take the time to focus, we can make that special, peaceful moment. I can remember a time in my life, in my first marriage, when I didn't find those peaceful moments because I was in a real cycle of anxiety, let's say, where I was so resentful of my marriage because I felt like I was doing everything and he wasn't doing anything. Ever been there? Either way, one way or the other. You felt like you were doing everything and whoever was not doing anything. I felt so resentful that when I sat down, and I was a Buddhist at the time, when I sat down to do my Buddhist meditation, all I was thinking was, I gotta change him. I wish he would change. I wish he'd do the dishes. I wish he'd do this. Oh, that's really helpful. And so I went to my Buddhist teacher and asked, well, nothing's happening. I'm praying, I'm chanting. We did a chant was our meditation. Nothing's changing. And she said, what about what you're praying about for yourself? When you take a time to think about yourself in this marriage and stay centered on who you are in this marriage, try that. So I went back to my meditation and I centered myself, saying, where am I? Oh, I'm feeling resentment. What's that about? Oh, I don't need to feel that resentment. I can let that go. I mean, not that easy, right? But, but eventually I began to realize that there are two people in this marriage and that I had just as much responsibility. And then if I found that peaceful presence within myself, then I didn't need to worry anymore. Things got better. These days, it's easy, or any day, it's easy to blame our anxiety and our fear on what is happening in the world. It's easy to feel despair and anger. But what's harder is to find a spiritual practice that grounds us and allows us to focus not on our anxiety, but what is within us, that peacefulness. Not pushing away our fear, but allowing it to come and then allowing it to go. Knowing our feelings, recognizing them and accepting them, but being willing to be open to the idea that there is peace inside. We can also be grounded in our own strength of spirit, and we might even find hope and maybe even joy. The peacefulness that is always within and maybe surrounding us may just be hiding. A grounding in this peacefulness will offer us everything we need. Amen. We're now going to extinguish our chalice.
To remind ourselves what is real, by Elena Westbrook. In a world ravaged by violence, by hatred, by conflicts that seem eternal and insoluble, sometimes the only thing we can do is be still for a moment, to remind ourselves what is real. The sun that rose this morning, the dirt under our feet, the air whispering in and out of our lungs. This hour, try just to be in each moment as it unfolds. Your simple attention is what makes these moments holy.
Please stand as we say our benediction and sing our closing hymn. Our benediction comes to us from Marjorie Learning. It's called To Stop Trying. Remembering that the universe is so much larger than our ability to comprehend, Let us go forth from this time together with the resolve to stop trying to reduce the incomprehensible to our own petty expectations, so that wonder, that sense of what is sacred, can open our minds and light up our lives. Let's sing our closing hymn. And Jamie, I don't know if we decided on which one we're doing today. Okay, Wake Now My Senses, 298. We're going to do the first 3 verses. Sit down, because I forgot very most important thing. We're going to ask New Beginning to sing to us once more. Thank you so much, New Beginning. And thank you all for being here. I wanted to remind you that there is a group about calmness and peaceful presence happening right after the service in the small conference room. Thank you.